Evening everybody, Mike from Usually Broken Cars. Tonight's episode is one that's been a long time in the making. Sorry for the delay, and as you can probably tell, the continuity isn't that great. I've just got to very quickly explain the vehicle since the last video has come on leaps and bounds, and unfortunately I haven't been able to capture a lot of it. It had an MOT and it actually failed, but only on some really silly things. Handbrake adjustment was one, and actually the rest were bulbs and things like that. So there was very little to do. I got it through the MOT, and once it passed, that's pretty much where we're at now. I did another oil change, and I was really struggling with cold starts. So what I did was I actually hardwired the 5th injector, which is located on the top of the inlet manifold. And what I'll do is I'll put a picture up of it now so you can see what I'm on about. Now what I did was I hardwired a switch into the interior of the vehicle so that I could control that. So when I keyed the vehicle on a cold start, I could flick the button a few times, give it a couple of squirts of fuel, and it would sort of spring to life. So yeah, basically we're now on the road and we're ready for the first drive. So let's just get straight into it. Right, okay, so you join me on the first road test for the Porsche. It's been 7 months since I bought the car, and this is the first time driving it out on the roads. I couldn't have probably picked a worse night. It's cold, and the fuel pump is making a weird noise as well. I've got Sam, he's in the other car, he's going to come with me. All we're going to do is go to the petrol station and then back to my house. It doesn't appear that the alternator is doing much, so we shall see what happens on the road. Let's go. Okay, we're moving. At second. A few rattles. I think from the steering column, which I knew was there when I bought the car. Right, so if you couldn't tell from the opening video, I was a bit nervous driving the car. There was a lot that could go wrong, and like I said, I don't know why I picked that night, because it was literally in the minuses. And yeah, so we're out on the first drive in the car. It was very exciting but very nerve-wracking at the same time. It worked far. I'm not going to turn it off because, like I say, I'm a little concerned the alternator's not doing anything, and of course there's no petrol at the pump that I want to use. Fantastic. So in typical British fashion, half the petrol pumps aren't actually working. Let's go round to this side. Okay. The heat is really hot. I don't know how to change the position. That is warm as you like. Oh. Coolant temperature is good. Oil gauge still working. Alternator not doing anything. The clock appears to be working. Obviously, clock working is the most important thing, right? Fuel gauge not working. Temperature gauge is good. The battery light's not come on, so I don't know what the alternator is doing at the minute. But I've got some loads on, so I might turn the fan off and see what happens. Okay, the alternator's moved up a bit. Right, I'm going to go see Sam quickly. And yeah, before you comment, I did leave it running with the keys in the ignition. This is the UK, it's not a dodgy part, so we were okay to do that. Okay, thank you. It's been a while. Okay, so the car in front of me is actually broken down. They're going to try and move it now so I can get some fuel in the car, hopefully. The idling is better. It was idling at 1500 before. It's now idling at 1200, so I'm happy with that. They've moved forward. Let's go get some fuel. running. I put another 20 litres of fuel in, so I don't think we'll run out of fuel tonight by any chance. Let's go home. I genuinely thought my drive belt was squealing. It's not, it's just the sound of Sam's diesel engine. This is always a nightmare to get out of here, but yeah, 20 litres of fuel was £34. I had to put in the premium fuel because that's what it takes. But yeah, 20 litres of fuel was £34, about $40. Let's get the old girl home. Temperature's still good. And as always, two idiots on bikes riding out in front of us again. So I really don't live that far away from where I restore the car. It wasn't a massive drive, and by the time, to be fair, by the time I'd queued and got petrol, the traffic had died down, but there's still a bit about. But yeah, it was quite an easy drive, shall we say. There wasn't a lot of strenuous traffic or anything, not as I expected there to be. We're on the final straight, coming down the hill. As I say, there's still a bit of, I don't know what the word is, but the brakes seem to be working nicely as well. But when you accelerate sort of harder, it's sort of, it's almost like it's a little bit of fuel starvation. But again, I'm not 100% yet, we'll see. I seem to have lost Sam, which I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but at least I'm, now on my street, so just to the driveway. It's not that much of a slouch. It's got some rattles though. But yeah, we're home. One more corner. The big question will be, will it start tomorrow morning? Because it's how I'm going to get to work. But we'll see. All the temperature seems good. The only thing that I am concerned about is it doesn't appear that the alternator is doing much. But we are on my driveway. So thanks for joining me for the first drive in the Porsche. It's meant to be this romantic, fun experience, but to be honest, it's been absolutely terrifying. And I feel like, for me, it was always going to be a bit of a nervous experience just because of my anxieties. But I think I've just had a text from Sam to say that he's gone back to his, but I appreciate him helping me out. Yeah, we're home. Right guys, so I thought I'd just do a very quick walk around of the outside now that I'm home. It drove well. The brakes were a bit spongy, but I don't know if that's just me being very anal because it's a car from 40 years ago, and the design is nearly 50 years old. But all the levels and everything sort of seemed to be all right driving back. The only thing is I'm a little concerned the alternator's not charging, so we'll see in the morning if it starts. But yeah, I'm pretty pleased. There wasn't any horrible smells or anything, but yeah, it's back home with the rest of the fleet. And yeah, like I say, I was nervous driving it, and as I said, I thought it was going to be this real romantic moment, but it's not, and that's my phone. So right, morning guys. You joined me the following day after the first drive. The sun is just coming up and I need to make sure this will start to get me to work. So we're just going to have a quick look around under here. I'm going to check things like the coolant level. Make sure there's actually some coolant in there. Level looks good, which is a result. Although I'm going to need two hands to put that back on. Check the oil level as well. Again, I know I should wipe it, but that oil level's spot on. All the belts look good. Didn't appear to have shredded any more of it. Well, not obviously anyway. So yeah, I think we're good. We'll have a go at starting it. Right guys, so following morning, let's see if she'll even crank. Started, battery's low. She started. Yeah, so it started. It ran for about 10 seconds and then it died. I was using the flick switch that I had installed for the 5th injector, trying to get it to warm up, but it didn't want to warm up. And then, yeah, I assure you, I did not do any jumping of whatsoever, and it just started up. So I just turned the key, and it went. I haven't jumped it, but I definitely think the alternator isn't doing what it should be doing, because I've got the battery light on now. So I need to work out what's going on with the alternator, but it's not charging. So it'll be going back to work for a few days, which we'll see. So I'm just going to leave it running now for 5 minutes and let it warm up properly. Right guys, so managed to make it to work, so that was a result. The drive belt was absolutely squealing its head off the way up here. I've checked it and it does appear to have some tension on it, so I'm not 100% sure what's going on. But other than that, it drove spot on, and everybody's staring at me because it was squealing its cock off. But yeah, it drove well, and fingers crossed we can get that drive belt sorted. It might be that I need to put a bigger one on it because the one that went on was very tight. We'll see, but yeah. So there you go, first drive completed, you know, and like I said, it's meant to be this really cool and cinematic experience, but in actual fact I was so desperate to drive it, and this was, like I say, a few months ago now, that I was prepared to take it out in a freezing cold night, and luckily Sam followed me to the petrol station. I drove it home, and then obviously the following morning took it back to work because it's broken. Which, to be fair, I kind of expected, but you know, it drove, it moved, it stopped, it changed gears, so that's a win for me. Stay tuned, I have got so much more content lined up for this. Sorry there was such a delay getting this video out, but it won't be long before the next one, and I will keep them coming and I won't stop it. I've got some exciting plans, I've got a massive box of parts for the car. Some of them are modifications and some of them are just OE parts, and some are just general work that's required. So yeah, do me that subscribe, it does make a huge difference. I want to hit 1,000 subs this year. Like and you know, if you can comment, that means a lot to me as well, and it really helps with that, you know, YouTube algorithm. So thanks again, see you on the next video.